I welcome all of you to a video on classic English novels. Today we have Jane Austen's famous novel Pride and Prejudice. Jane Austen was a 19th century British novelist. Let us now look at the details of the novel, after which you can find yourself a copy of the book and enjoy reading it. Here is a very interesting story which will help you to improve your English, also interest you immensely, and if you're a student of literature, it will be useful for you in your various lessons, examinations, etc. The story is of a famous classical British novel, Pride and Prejudice. And the author is Jane Austen. The novel was written in the first part of the 19th century and published in 1813, of course, anonymously. But Jane Austen has written this novel such a long time back. We are in 2026 now. But the novel continues to be popular and is made into movies again and again in not only English but various languages. If you search on YouTube, you might get a translation enacted in one of the YouTube videos in your own mother tongue. I know it's there in Hindi, but I don't know about others. This story is called a social novel because it talks about a social situation, or a novel of manners, showing how people behave, how people behaved in society at that time. The beginning of the novel itself attracts a lot of attention. I'm summarizing, but when you read the novel, you'll get the exact idea that any single rich man needs a wife or must be eager to have a wife. So we are talking here in terms of marriage, because at this time, for a girl, marriage was the only career. There was not much else available. And the story revolves around a family which has 5 daughters, but no dowry, no money to leave to them. Because whatever property the father has will be inherited by a distant cousin. I'm only giving you the name of the important characters. The parents, the entire family, is the family of the Bennets, Mr. and Mrs. Bennet, with 5 daughters. Of these 5 daughters, Elizabeth is the central figure because the word prejudice in the title applies to her. Her elder sister, she's number 2 out of 5. Elizabeth is number 2. Her elder sister is Jane, very beautiful. And the last of the 5 is Lydia. She's also important. She's very young, a teenager, but important. Then we have 2 rich men. One is Mr. Bingley, who, as soon as he sees as soon as he sees Jane, I'm sorry, not Elizabeth, falls in love with her. She's so beautiful. Darcy almost insults Elizabeth by saying that he cannot dance, because the first time they meet is at a ball where Bingley dances with Jane, but Darcy refuses to dance by saying, "The only girl worth dancing is dancing with my friend, therefore I will not dance." So that is where the story begins. that these two rich young men come to this small place where the Bennet family stays. And the mother feels very happy. She behaves in a manner which embarrasses everybody. But she is very happy that two rich men have come. She hopes that her daughters will catch their attention and they will get married to either of the two or both. Seeing the interest of Bingley in Jane, she makes many plans. One day, when she knows it's going to rain, she sends her on horseback. Jane gets wet and she reaches Bingley's house. She falls ill. Then the mother says, I don't want her to get her back. Let her stay there so that there is time for them to build up a relationship. Elizabeth feels very embarrassed. She rushes to her sister's aid. She goes there and she stays for some time. But she finds that Darcy is still very proud. So the word pride in the title refers to Darcy, who's the protagonist, who's the main character in this novel, and Elizabeth, prejudice. So we have two terms, pride and prejudice. Darcy is very shy, but he's very proud also because he comes from a very well known family and he's much richer than Bingley. Bingley is a very simple person. But when he shows so much interest in Jane, and Jane has such a family, the sisters are not really nice except Elizabeth, and the mother is very embarrassing. The father seems to be very superior. Seeing all this, Bingley's sister and his friend Darcy stop him from proposing marriage to her. So Jane feels that she loves this man. Bingley also feels that she loves Jane, but everybody tells him that it is not an equal match, you should not. Suddenly, all these people who had come to this small place disappear. In the meantime, the cousin who's supposed to inherit everything which the girl's father possesses, because he cannot pass it on to girls, it has to go to a male heir. And the male heir is a very distant cousin who's a pastor in the church. And he works under a lady who's an aristocratic lady who also happens to be the aunt of Darcy. This they don't know at present, they will know much later. And then this cousin comes and says that my patroness, my lady, has told me that I should marry one of the five girls because I'm taking away their property. That property will come to me. Therefore, let me marry one of them. The mother says, don't worry. Jane is almost getting married because by then the young men are still here. But you can try with Elizabeth. She's very good. Elizabeth is very superior. She's very intelligent, highly read, and she finds this man very foolish. So she refuses him. He is shocked. He says, how can you refuse me? I'm such a great person. And he goes on telling about his greatness and about where he lives, etc. Then he says, I will go to your father and ask for his permission. When Elizabeth is called by her father, she feels that even her father, who's usually very supportive, is not on her side. He also wants her to marry this foolish cousin. But the father is very humorous. He says, your mother will not see you. She will disown you if you don't marry your cousin. And if you marry your cousin, I will disown you. I will never see you again. Elizabeth is very happy. She says, oh, wonderful. I need not marry this person. So the cousin has to get married to somebody. He goes and marries Elizabeth's friend, who's about 27 years old. She's very old. So she says, Elizabeth is shocked. How could you think of marrying such a person? Elizabeth says. Then the friend says, I have no other way. Elizabeth goes to visit them once they are married, and there Darcy comes and proposes to her. He says, I met you there. Now I realize that I love you. Elizabeth is very upset. She is very rude to him, saying, you broke up my sister's marriage to Bennet and to Bingley, and now you're asking me to marry you. I refuse. In the meantime, they have met a military man who used to be in Darcy's father's charge. He's a very bad man, but Elizabeth thinks that he's very good and she befriends him. Later, in Darcy's letter, he writes saying that, I did not ill treat that boy. He first took away all the money once my father had died, whatever money was left to him. He spent it, he wasted it. Then he wanted to run away with my 15-year-old sister to become rich because she is also an heiress. I stopped that. Many incidents happen, and again, Bingley is told that Jane really loves him. Till now, they had told him that Jane is indifferent because Jane is very shy. And Bennet comes back. In the meantime, Lydia, who's the youngest, runs off with this military man who Darcy knows very well is a very bad man. So when Elizabeth comes to know about it, and because Darcy is present at that time, she tells him. Darcy goes and bribes that man, gives him lots of money to marry Lydia. The mother is very happy. My youngest girl has married first, and now they are going to announce the engagement of Jane also. Elizabeth, by this time, feels very sorry that she has refused Darcy. She has ill treated him because she was prejudiced. She had the wrong ideas about him. He's a good man, but he doesn't know how to show it. So when the aunt comes and says that Darcy is supposed to marry my daughter, you don't marry him, Elizabeth gets very upset. He says, why should she say such a thing? And then when Darcy comes again, says that my love for you has not changed, she accepts him. In this way, the novel ends happily with all these people getting the right husbands. Jane and Elizabeth get good people. Lydia, who is uncaring, insensitive, of course, gets the military man Wickham. If literature students do character analysis, you do the analysis of the title and the various themes associated with society and marriage and morals, you will get a lot of ideas. But every person who wants to learn English must read this book. It is written in simple, beautiful English. I read the novel when I was in the 8th class. It's a big novel, 400 pages maybe. But I enjoyed reading it because we were encouraged to read classical novels when we were in school, when we were in the 7th, 8th, 9th classes. So all of you can read it, enjoy it, and then comment about it. Also, you must write what you understood of the story, what you understood of these two characters represented by the words pride and prejudice. Speak about the title and the two characters. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more videos like this, you have to let me know in the comment box. Don't forget to press the bell icon, which will notify you about new videos. If you think this video is useful, like it and hype it also. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and share the videos widely with all others who you think need to improve their English. And finally, join as a member, because all members have been improving their English immensely in the last 1 year since we started the membership drive. See you again in the next video.